Hi everyone, my name is Ijeoma. Have you guys been? Has everyone been checking in since the last time we spoke? Welcome to my channel where I talk about human resource related content and its intersection with the law under the Naija HR Chic Series with MOA. I trust you guys have been well. Everyone is keeping safe, practicing the safety protocols by NCDC. Today's topic, it's somehow going to be tied in with the last one I spoke about, which is managing mental health of employees in the workplace. So we're talking about managing millennials in the workplace. Yes, we hear that a lot every other day. Millennials, Generation X, Generation Y. How do you work with them? How do you get them to be productive on the job? Amongst other things, and still keep them happy enough to come to work the next day. It almost feels like with baby boomers, you could just tell them, okay, this is what I needed you to do, and they would do it because they were expectant that this was what was coming to their pockets at the end of the month. But with this new demographic of workers called millennials, and of course a bit of Generation X's, you have to practically get to a point where you feel like you are relearning a particular person, his interests, his hobbies, and how they tie into his productivity levels at work. I've had to work with a couple of them, and trust me, it's been an interesting journey to say the least. And these are a few tips on how I've been able to work successfully with some of them. Because you cannot expect those tips to work for everyone, everyone is different. But most importantly, try to understand this person, understand where they're coming from, understand where they live. It will shock you how environment determines how this person behave on the job. Understand their interests. They don't have your typical interests that everyone has. These are people that are artists. These are people that have photography as interests. These are people that have beat productions, production companies. These are, well, we call them side hustles. So they want a job that is going to give them enough time to do these things on the side while they also give you the best. So don't, as much as possible, rub it in and say, oh, you signed a letter with the company or the organization where it stated you do not do something else except this. Why, you can explain to them that you can do this during working hours. You do the job of the company during working hours. Once it's this time, you can do yours. But please, there should be a balance so they don't always feel that they are boxed into a corner. And that's where understanding comes in. The second thing is empathy. As much as possible, yes, we are taught that as HR professionals, you're supposed to be empathetic and not sympathetic to your employees' actions and whatever they bring to your table every other day. But the thing I notice is the mistake that we make. We always assume that because baby boomers are somewhat easier to deal with when it comes to certain situations, you apply that same skill to measure productivity levels for a millennial, and that's where you're maybe caught wrong or caught doing the wrong thing. And that's where empathy comes in as a tip, because trying to understand why this person is behaving in a certain way, is there a way you can help that employee get better at their job? And if you can't, is there a way you can bring in someone to say, okay, speak to this employee, I know he or she is a fantastic fit for this role or for this department, but he or she may be lagging behind in this area. How can you? Then the third but most importantly in thing that I would always advise my fellow HR professional is, as much as you want to be understanding and empathetic, do not lose the fact that you have to be what? Firm in drawing boundaries, because in the spirit of trying to meet this set of employees halfway, you might get consumed and in their world and forget that you are supposed to be the balancing act between government, between management and also employees. I was going to say government, but in some cases government might come in depending on where you work. You have to be firm. Yes, I understand why you're going through this, and yes, the job has to be done. I can get this person to cover for you, and that's where empathy comes in. But hey, you need to create boundaries. You need to create a timeline. You need to let them know that this is a workplace, so they don't veer off and think that, oh, because this HR professional seems to be this way amenable and understands and gets us a bit, you can now allow them to take advantage of and flout rules that ordinarily other sets of employees are not allowed to flout without consequences. So Be understanding, be empathetic, but most importantly, be firm when you need to be firm. They would understand. Trust me, these are human beings like you and I, but they are only very special because of the generation they grew up in. There are other tips I would like to talk about, but like I always say, I like to keep it very short. I like to keep it entertaining. Let me know in the comment section what other tips you think we can employ to manage millennials in the workplace. Same with everything that's going on, remote work being the new normal, and the pandemic. Even after the pandemic, is going to likely continue to be the same. Let me know in the comment section what you think about today's episode. Let me know what you feel I should also add to the list of tips I should use to manage millennials, not necessarily where I work, of course, in future workplaces. But till I come your way soon, do continue to stay safe. And yes, most importantly, don't forget to come subscribe to my channel for more interesting stuff on human resource related content and its intersection with the law. Till I come your way next time, it's still Ijeoma. Bye.